So whether you're new to Shopify or you're just wanting to redesign your existing store, we are so excited to be sharing this video with you today, all about how to customize your Shopify store very quickly. So stay tuned, because in just a minute we're gonna hop into my screen and I'm gonna show you exactly how we are gonna customize our store step by step. If you're already a subscriber to this channel, you know that we love Shopify. And if you're new here, well, hey, my name is Elle McCann and I have been a Shopify expert for over 6 years now. So in this video, as I said at the beginning, we are going to be actually customizing one of our existing Shopify stores, which is tomofit.com. And we are so excited to be partnering with the awesome folks at Pixel Union and using one of their themes, Handy. So Handy is a great theme, and we chose it specifically because it is very mobile ready. So they designed this to be mobile first. It looks beautiful on mobile devices and of course on desktop as well. So we are so excited to be setting this up. So let's go ahead and hop into my computer now and let's get started.
So now I'm in the back end of my Shopify store in the online store themes area, which you can see on the left-hand side. So you can see here my current theme, which I'm wanting to change out. I actually already have the Handy theme loaded, which you can see here. But if you don't have that loaded yet, you can actually go to the Shopify theme store. So if we just scroll down and then hit View Theme Store, you can go and you can find any theme that you feel like is going to work best for you. So we'll let this load real quick, and then you can come up here. I'm just going to hit search, and I'm going to type in Handy. So you can see the theme that we're about to start customizing. So you can tell whenever you are going to be searching for themes, you can search up here by different styles. You can also come in here once you have different themes that you're looking at, and you can see exactly kind of nail down what you're looking for, if you're wanting it to be an image zoom or gallery related products. And that's how you can kind of find a good theme that you want. However, we know that we already want this Handy theme, so if you click in on it, you can see exactly what it looks like. We can hit View Demo and see it in a live demo store, as well as change to the different styles that you have here. And you can then go ahead and either try it in your store or buy the theme as well. So again, big thanks to Pixel Union for letting us use their Handy theme for this demonstration. So let's go back to my Shopify store, since I already have this set up. And what we're going to do is we're going to customize it. So I'm just going to hit Customize here, and this is going to open it into a new tab for me. So you can see kind of what the basis of it looks like. And of course, our logo isn't in there and we really need to customize it. But you can scroll through this preview area here on the right and see all of the different possibilities. And we're going to start going through this real quick as well. Just a quick breakdown though of how Shopify themes are structured. Each theme is going to have different options, and it's really up to the theme developer of what the options are and how they're structured. However, they all have this sections area, which has some cool capabilities. So for example, the slideshow that you can see here, if you click into it, you'll then get to edit the settings for this section. However, if you come back, you can also choose, let's say, I want to have this and I want to have it as kind of a placeholder and I don't have an image for it yet. You can actually just hit this hide icon, and now it is hidden and it's not going to show up on the live version of your store, but it's still here so that you can start customizing it and then just turn it back on as soon as you're ready. You can also drag it and drop it, and you can see that it's going to change its positioning on the page, so that it was at the top before and now we've got it in the middle of the page. So there's a lot of cool capabilities that you can do, and we're going to start going through all of this now. So the first option is the announcement bar. So if we click into that, you can click to show the announcement, and this would be something if you were doing a sale or free shipping after a certain dollar amount is reached. You would want to have it here to really kind of call attention to it. And then you can come in and you can customize what this background color is, and you'll actually see as soon as you make the edits over here, they're now made over here. Now they're not live yet. They wouldn't be live until you hit save and publish this theme. However, it lets you really see in real time what it looks like. So I'm going to hide the announcement bar for now. I'm going to go back. This theme also has a contact bar, which we are not going to really be using because we don't have a brick and mortar store that we want them to go to. But you can see here the options. So for example, I could just come in and delete these if I didn't want to show your phone number or open hours, for example. But I'm just going to back out of that, and let's go ahead and customize this header area. So this is going to be something that once we customize it once, it's done site-wide, where the rest of the options here are just specifically on the home page. So let's go to header, and we're clicking into it. And the first option is to add in a logo. So I'm just going to select it, and I'm going to upload it from my computer. Okay. And just hit select. So now we see the logo is showing up there as well. You can also have an additional optional logo to display on mobile, but I want it to be the same, so we're just going to leave that there. Next, you have your navigation. So right now it's pulling in my main menu, which is what I want it to do. If you wanted to change that, you can just hit change, and you can select your menu option there of what you want it to display. Now this theme has a really cool functionality. So for example, the shop drop-down menu is just your basic drop-down menu. However, it has the ability to make this into a mega menu that'll actually have images in it as well. So I want to add in that functionality. So I'm just going to hit add mega menu, and we're going to want it to drop down from the shop tab as we see here. So I'm just going to hit type in shop, and I want it to show collection images. So that would be actually going in whenever you have your collections that you're setting up to add a featured image for that collection. But now whenever we hover over it, you can see that I have the t-shirt designs collection and the tank top designs just as I had in the menu before. But now it has an actual featured image to it, which makes it a lot more dynamic in terms of choosing it. So especially as we add more products and we kind of fill this out, it'll be really cool to kind of give people a visual way to shop. So our header menu is set up for now. So we'll just come back here. And now let's start actually changing the home page. So the first thing that we have here is our slideshow. So I'm just going to click into it. And you can choose if you want to auto rotate the slides and how much of a delay you want it to be. So I know that I actually only have an image for one of the slides, so I can actually come into these other two if I click into it, and I can scroll down to the bottom and I can say remove content because I don't have a slide for it, so I don't want it to show up as empty. So I'm going to go ahead and remove these two, and now I'm going to go into this first slide and we're going to customize it. So similar to choosing your logo image, I'm just going to select and choose my image from my computer. And so this was a horizontal box. So we want to find an image that's going to fit in that size as well. So I'm just going to look at it. It looks good in terms of how it's styled. So we're going to hit select. Next, we want to change the actual text. So you have the option of having the text on the left like you have here, or we could change it to right and see what that looks like. So you could play around with it. Actually, let's keep it on the right side so that way it kind of grabs your attention since we read left to right and it grabs it right away. You can then change the text color. So we have a few different colors in our logo that we use. So I'm going to change this text color to the dark blue that we use. So I'm just going to select on it here, and you could pull it from your menu here and kind of move that around and change that to be whatever slide you want. However, I know that the hex color that I have for it, so I'm going to just go ahead and type that in. So now I can see that it is this blue. Okay, so now we've got that changed out there. And actually now that I see it, I don't like it as much as the blue. So it's nice that you're able to make these changes without actually making them on your site. So you can come in, you can see it live and go, you know what, it's not how I thought it was going to be. So I'm going to change that back. And we can see it change back there. So this header and the subheading, as you can see, comes in here. So I'm going to go to my actual current live store so I can see what kind of text I could be using. So I'm going to pull this mission and I'm just going to copy it over. And let's actually not do it all caps this time. Okay, and for subheading, I can come in here and copy that. Now, if you don't already have a theme that you're pulling the copy from, then that's something that you would just kind of go through and type it in as you have it. But that's easy for me to kind of transfer some of the copy over from an existing site. So here we are talking about our mission of how this clothing apparel line actually gives back to domestic women's shelters. So we can now come in and we can link it to a specific area. So because I'm talking about the mission here, I want to link into an about page. So I'm going to just click in here to the links area, and I could choose where I want that to link to, but I'm going to come in and say pages, and I'm going to say about us because we talk about the mission more there. And for the slide link text, you can see here, I'm going to just change that to learn more. Okay, so now here is our first slide. So that looks good. And I can go ahead and push save here just to make sure we don't lose any changes if something happens. This theme is not live. So once we do make it live, I would just hit this publish. If you're editing a live theme, you may not want to save to the end once you have everything ready, but we're able to kind of go ahead and do that now. So next is this featured collections area. So we're going to add in 2 of our featured collections. So I can just come in here and click on it. And we have the option of adding in 3 actual featured collections. So I'm only going to have 2 collections here because right now we just have t-shirts and tank tops. So I'm going to select this 3rd one, and just as before, scroll to the bottom and hit remove content. And you can also see up here you have your heading that you can change out as well. I'll just leave that for now as just featured collections. So let's actually click into this first collection and start changing it. So I'm going to first select the collection that I want to feature. And let's actually have this be the tank top designs. Okay. And so I'm going to select it. Now you can see here we don't, oh, there it goes. I was about to say it looks like we don't have an image here, but it came in, so we can use that. Next, you can choose if you want it to be right alignment or left. So since we have this going as right alignment, we may want to make it be left. So we'll go ahead and switch that to left alignment, just so it's not all in a row of all the images. You can also choose to show a description if you have a description set up. We don't have a description set up for this collection because it's not showing, but we can add in a custom description. So I'm going to go in now back to my original homepage, and I'm going to choose some of this text as well to add in. And I'm just going to paste it there. Okay. And next, we're going to come down and we're going to select this second collection. And I'm going to choose to do the t-shirt designs now. I'm going to hit select. So again, we don't want it to be back all in the same row. So this time I'm going to choose the text to be on the right side. Okay, and I'm going to come in again, and now I'm going to use this text here. Okay, and this shop now is just going to default to go to whatever collection you have set up. So that is just exactly what we need it to be. And I'm just going to hit back. So let's hit save and see what's next on the list. So next we have your featured collection. So this was featuring a full collection. So whenever you click on it, it'll actually go to all of the t-shirt designs. These are the featured products that you want to showcase on your homepage. So if I click on it here, so because I have featured collection at the top, to avoid confusion, let's say featured products. Or actually we can say like our best sellers. Okay, and select the collection here. So this time I'm going to hit the featured products collection and hit select. And it's going to automatically bring in the products that we have in this featured products collection. So it's already got them pulled in, and it has this dynamic way of displaying them. It looks like we only have 4 products in this collection. However, you can come in and you can say exactly how many you want. So right now this is set up for 5, so there would have been 1 right here. So if we say products per row is 4, then you will see the layout change whenever you go to less than your original amount. So you can see here of 2 it changes, and you can see how that actually changes the layout itself. So let's add that to 5, and then I'll just come in and add another product as well. You can also choose if you want it to have a second product image on hover. So for example, if we select this and we hover over it now, you can see that it actually changes to another variation of that color. I'm going to turn that off for now, and you can also see here this enable product quick ship. So this is going to be when you actually click on the product, instead of going to the product page itself, it's going to actually pop up this box with more information. So you can actually shop the product just from here. However, I'm going to turn that off now as well. I want them to go to the product page. Okay, and we're going to back out of that. Next is the blog post area. And so let's click on into the blog post, and we're going to select the blog. So we have one that's called Tomo Strong, and I'm going to select it. And here I can come in and actually type in what I want this title to be up here. So actually, let's take that into a hashtag we're using on social media. So we can say what it means to be Tomo Strong, and this is where we have blog posts about the different women that inspire us. So we can come back out of here now, and we see that that's set up. Next, we have our Instagram feed area. So if we come into this, we can actually add in this access token, which is going to tie into our Instagram profile. So if you don't have this yet, you just make sure you're signed into your Instagram account, and you can click on this link to generate the token. So we have already generated this access token for our existing theme. So I'm just going to paste it in here, and it'll then start pulling in. Awesome. So now we can see our Instagram feed in already. And next we're going to scroll down. We're almost at the bottom here. So we actually don't use Twitter for this business. So I could choose to hide it if I wanted to, if I thought I was going to come back and add Twitter at a later point. But I'm just going to go ahead and delete this. So I clicked into it, and then I'm going to hit remove section. Now there are other options that you can add in. So if you click on this add section here, you can see a full list of other things that you can add in. So for example, if we wanted to do this image with text overlay, if I select it, and you can see now exactly what that looks like, you can then add it in and move it around as we did before. So if we wanted to move it higher up, and then you can come in and customize it. So I'm going to delete this for now, but definitely play around. Again, each theme is going to have different settings. So play around with all the settings that are possible for you and see which ones you want to use. The last section here is this footer area. And so this is going to be also like the header, where it's default across your whole site. So I'm just going to select in on it here. And we want to make sure that we are showing the newsletter, our social media accounts. You could choose to show the payment icons as well. So this first thing is the menu. So we have account here. So I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to actually keep that the same of how people can select their account and log in. And then let's add in an additional menu. So we can hit add content and menu. And I'm going to select, we have 2 different footer menus. So we have footer. So I'm going to select that first. And I'm going to change the positioning of that. Actually, let's go ahead and change in or add in another menu. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. And change this footer menu too. And so let's actually, because now I'm seeing that I have an account login area here, I'm going to just delete this first account area. and I'm going to move the about text below it. So now we have our footer and footer menu 2. Now we'll definitely want to change the text that is showing here. We don't really want to say footer menu 2. So to do that, you're just going to go into your theme, into your navigation. So if you click into it here, you can see it'll pop up. That's kind of what this icon means, the ability to edit your menu name. So we're going to come in here and just select that. And I'm just going to change that real quick. So I can just say for here, our policies. Okay, and hit save. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and change the other footer menu that I have. And we can change this to be about us. Okay, so now let's come back to our main theme where we're customizing it. I'm going to hit save, and we see, although we didn't make those changes in this editor, now we're able to see those edits. So now we're just going to add in the text for the About Us section at the bottom. So let's go to our existing site, and I'm going to pull some content from my About Us page. Okay, so this first area is about me, and the next area is about the name Tomo Fit. Okay, we can copy this text here, and we can just paste this in. And we might come back as well and edit that just so it's a little bit shorter and it's aligned with everything. But let's go ahead and hit save for now. Now, this theme it had the ability, we wanted it to show the social icons, but I don't think we actually have any of that linked so far. So you can scroll down here at the very bottom, you can see the theme settings, which if we click on it, we're going to see some additional information about these social media profiles. We can also see it if we back up here and go to theme settings. So where the section controls the content on the page, the theme settings is going to show it for site-wide. So here we can click on social media, and I can come in here and add the accounts. So again, let's go back to our existing site so I can pull those URLs real quick. And I'm just going to open these in a new tab so that we can just copy them really quickly. So first is Facebook. Okay, and I'm just going to paste it in here. And then next is Pinterest. Finally, we have Instagram. Okay, so now that we've added those in, let's hit save and let's see what the bottom actually looks like now once we've added it in. So now you can see the actual social media icons show up. There we go. Okay, so let's go back and we're going to go back to the settings. We still need to customize things like color and type, which we're going to come back to, but let's go back to the settings. So we've got our home page edited. There's still a few tweaks that we want to come back and make, like adding in another product here. But for the sake of this tutorial, we can just keep moving forward and let's edit another page. So to edit additional pages on your site, like your collection or your product page, you can just come in here and select it from the drop-down menu. So next, let's go ahead and do product page. So this is now going to open an example of what your product page looks like, and we can now make edits as well. So we can see here the examples of announcement bar, header, contact, and footer are the same as we set up before, but now we have this new option of product pages. So let's click in on this. And again, each theme is going to be very different of what your options are, so it's just important to kind of play around and see what it is that your theme has as availability, as well as what is important for you to show. So for example, we don't need to show the product vendor because we're doing all the products ourselves. You can also choose to enable this bottom menu, which you can see here. So if we select options, we would then see the color options that we have for this shirt, as well as the size options and the ability to add it to the cart or buy it now. So I actually really like this, how it is, but let's go ahead and turn that off just so we can see what it looks like if it was going to be in the actual text. So now you can see the options here. So I'm going to actually go back and enable it because I think it's a smoother process having it at the bottom. You can also choose to enable the cart redirection. So once they add the product to the cart, you're instantly taken over to the cart page. And also this dynamic checkout button. So again, if we hit select option, the dynamic checkout button is going to be like this buy it now is what that is. As well as if you had any other payment options like Amazon Pay or PayPal. We also can have the option of social sharing. So we can turn that on. And now we'll actually see these social sharing icons that they can do so that it's easy for them to actually share this product. If we scroll down to the bottom, we can see here we have our related products, which is something we definitely want to keep on there so that people can, if they don't necessarily like that design as much as they thought, they can maybe find another design that they would like to purchase. So if we select on this, we can see any options that we have here. So the aspect ratio, and you can play around with how that looks, as well as, again, that quick ship option, how many products you want to have as well. So that's looking good. So let's hit save. And now let's go and look at what the collection page looks like. So we'll just hit collection page from the list. And again, we have this option now of collection pages. So now we have a bottom menu that is really featuring the sort by and refining capabilities for tags. We're not using any of those on the site now just because we don't have enough products currently. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that off because I don't want that to be highlighted that much. You can also choose how many products you want per page and how many you want per row as well. So if we chose this to be 3 per row, you'll see it now change the style over here as well. And again, we have the same options as before if we want to show that second product image or quick ship or vendors. But let's just go ahead and leave it like that and we'll hit save. Okay, so now let's come in again to the drop down and let's see what else we have. So let's do now the blogs. So we can come into that. So we do already have a blog set up. So if we choose blog pages, and right here, the only options that we have are how many posts we want per page. So we can leave that how it is for now, since we don't have a lot of blog posts. So now let's go in and actually edit what the individual blog post pages look like. So we can see here the article pages, and the only option that we have here as well is for social sharing. And so now we can see the social sharing icons. So going through it, I'm definitely going to need to change it to an image that's going to look a bit better at the top. This is the featured image for the blog post that's being pulled in. So as you're editing your theme, I would go in and just kind of, as you're making the changes in the customization area, I would make notes of anything that you need to edit additionally, like adding in additional products to a collection or changing out a blog post featured image. But let's go ahead and keep moving forward. And now let's go to the cart page and see what options are there. So we've got this product added in. So you can now see here the cart page options. So for example, we have this text of having the notes field. And this is not a customized product. We don't offer gift wrapping. This is a print on demand product. And we're using Printful to fulfill that. I'm not going to go into that in this tutorial, but if you're interested in that, we do have another tutorial that goes through how to set up Printful for your Shopify store, and I will link that in the description below. But I'm just going to turn off the notes field now, since that's not something that we really anticipate people needing to use. Okay, and now there was just a few pages left to change. And let's go to the checkout page. Sadly, this is an area that a lot of people kind of skip over, and I see they don't actually set this up. So now we're seeing what it would look like if I went through the actual checkout and started going through this section. So we don't have the availability to do sections here, but it auto pulled me over to the theme settings area, which is what we want to edit. So I'm not going to do a background image, which would be kind of a big image at the top, but I do want to add in my logo. So I'm going to just select it, and since I've already uploaded it, I can just select it from here. And then I can choose to keep it on the left-hand side or to move it into another placement. So I'm just going to move this into the center placement. And I think that positioning, maybe we can make it a little bit smaller and see what that looks like. So now you can see it's kind of centered everything there. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good. You can also, again, choose to set up a background image for the main content area, but I typically like to keep these as just solid colors so that it's not overwhelming. So you can choose your background colors here as you did before, as well as for the order summary page. We can also change the colors and the typography. So we need to do this for our theme overall, but we can go ahead and change that out now so it's consistent. So let's click on the headings, and I use currently the Open Sans font in my branding. So I'm going to choose both of these as Open Sans. And then next we can change the color. So I'm going to click on this accents, and I'm going to use that blue button that we had before. And I'm going to choose that for, or the blue color, and I'm going to choose that for both of my buttons, but I'm going to keep this error as red just so if there is any issues, they're going to instantly see that. So now you can see we have this blue text here, or blue button, and so we're going to hit save. So definitely make sure that on your checkout page you add in your logo and some branding elements like colors or typography just to tie it all together. And also, I guess, if you have a bigger image that you wanted to feature as well. So let's hit this back arrow. And again, that was under theme settings. So let's now go to your options here for color and typography. So to see this in effect, I'm just going to go to the home page so we can see these edits take effect on the right-hand side. So first off, I'm going to just come in first for this favicon, which is your icon that you can see up here at the top. So we already have this on our existing site, so I'm just going to use the same one. Okay, I'm just going to hit select. And now let's come back. So our quick shop, these are where you're going to actually change the quick shop options. So, but since I'm not using this on my site now, that is fine to just leave it as is. Now I want to come in and do my colors. So we want to definitely change any button background colors that we have. So actually let's go into the product page so we can see that then. So we'll come into color now, and I'm going to choose that I want my button background color to be this blue. So we can see with this theme's options now, it has changed the blue here in the social media sharing option. However, it didn't change that here because this is actually an additional option, which is this highlighted bottom bar. So if we click on this, this is actually going to make the bottom bar background that blue color that we have. So it's going to be a little bit much for what we're wanting to do of really highlighting that, but you could choose this to be another color if you'd like. So let's just go ahead and take that off for now. And let's go into the actual text options. So we'll come in here and we'll hit typography. And now we're going to change this. So this is a very different font than what we're wanting to use. So we'll just hit change, and we can select it from the menu list here, or we can type it in at the top. So I know that the font I want to use is called Open Sans, and so I can just select it in from here, and I'm going to hit select. Now, if you don't already have a font in mind, you can come in here and you can scroll through the list and try out which ones you think are going to work best. And again, see that in your description over here or in the preview area of how that's changing. So I'm just going to change all of these to the Open Sans font because we actually use that site-wide. Okay. And let's go back and see if there's any other edits that we need to make. So we're not going to be using currency. That's if you wanted to offer your product to display it in certain currencies, so you actually have a currency kind of conversion happening. But we're just going to keep it as US dollars. We've already added in our social media here, and we've already changed the checkout area as well. So we're just going to hit save and see from the drop-down list up here if there's any more options for us to do. So now you can see as we scroll down, we have the option of, let's see what this 404 page would be. So a 404 is a page not found. So if you had any broken links, they would see this page not found. So there's not any options that we see here of editing this. Let's go into any of the additional pages. So let's see, for example, About Us page. So not all themes have this capability. We can see here though that how our current About Us page is pulling in is not looking the best. So again, this would be going and kind of making a list of any edits you needed to make after you had gone through the customize area. So we would definitely want to decrease this image size, or just instead of trying to float the text around it, just have it be at the top, since this theme is having a smaller width than what we had on our current site. So it doesn't look like any of the about or just page text have any things that we can change, but let's go in and see if the Contact Us page does. Okay, so we can see here that we just have this contact message, and it's pulling in the text that we had for the contact bar. So now we would want to make sure, because we're not in British Columbia, so we would want to make sure that we delete some of these options if we're not wanting to show that, so that people aren't going to be confused. Okay. And again, there are other options there of actually showing a map, but we don't want anyone to come, since this is not an actual store for them to come to. So we've got that change made, and we'll just hit save. So that's really all the edits that we have made in this customized area. So now it would just be going back through our list of edits that we wanted to make of additional page edits, like I was saying on the About Us page, or adding in more products to a certain collection to fill it out a little bit more.
So I hope you found that video tutorial helpful. If you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe in the link below. Also, make sure to comment below and let us know what you think about the theme, as well as how it's going customizing your own Shopify store. If you have any questions or issues, comment below and let us know. Also, make sure to check out another recent video that we have over here, and we hope you like it. Thanks so much. Have a great day.